I got this thing. It's made to hold your boards so you can do your soldering and stuff and flip them. It's got these extra ones. The listing on it was a little bit misleading because it said it was a magnetic base. These are magnetic. This piece is magnetic. The base, somewhat non-slip, solid steel, it is not magnetic. Luckily, I've been doing my work on this slab of steel from this old metal desk here, so it is. I can just use the magnets on that, and it actually works out better because I can move the stuff around exactly where I want. I don't have that tiny little space to do it in. I'll be right back. Alright, yes, best practice is to test your resistors, make sure you know their values, but A, I am waiting on my new multimeter to come in. My old one is dead and in pieces. And B, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say the only resistor that came in the kit is a 1K resistor. So I'm going to just go ahead and send it. And if it don't work, I didn't spend money on this kit anyway, so I'm not really going to be upset. And there's the resistor put into place. Now you guys probably have noticed I get a lot of these kits. Part of that is I thoroughly enjoy soldering and making the little electronic gadgets and everything, but my brain, she is not of the creative variety so much. So I have trouble actually coming up with building out circuits and everything, whereas opposed to this, I'm putting all the pieces on the PCB. I am kind of learning how the circuits work and everything. I'm getting better at trying to make my own, but I struggle. And it's just my brain doesn't quite work in that fashion. So I play to my strengths and I try to shore up my weaknesses where I can. Next up's going to be the capacitors, and try like all the small stuff first, as always. So, interesting note about this kit is both the electrolytic capacitor and the ceramic capacitor actually go on the board underneath the IC. Down, it's got the socket, so they have to be bent over onto their side. It's just not going to work anywhere any other way. So well, the electrolytic one probably doesn't, but the ceramic one might not. The electrolytic definitely does, and I apologize for the hiccupings. So I'm gonna put these in, and I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, I hate these dip sockets, by the way, because the legs always get bent and they're very thin and fragile. So I tried to bend one back into place and it snapped off. So this is now garbage, at least for this, because that pin gets used. I suppose if I had some application where the pinout didn't need that pin on the IC, it'd still be usable, but I'm not going to save this for that very specific thing that I don't know if will ever happen or not. So that is getting chucked. It is a, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38. It is a 40. It is a dip 40. And I don't have anything above a dip 28. Because I do have this handy dandy little IC socket adapter kit. But unfortunately, is none of them big enough. The biggest I have is a 28, but I do have two 20s. Hopefully this fits and will do what I wanted to do. 1 second. Okay, yeah, no, will not fit. These are definitely way too narrow. So what I'm going to have to do instead is try to salvage one of these legs out of here and repair that one. And just like that, she's no longer broken. Unfortunately, that one now is. But wait, no, not this one. This one is now broken. Which does kind of suck. But I'm gonna keep this one just for donor conductors. Because I guarantee you this ain't gonna be the last time it happens. Alright, so it sits in there like that. And I definitely called it because there was actually, like, the fourth one in on that bottom side right there, I apparently popped out at some point. Yeah, saving that one as a donor was the right call because I got this thing put in and found out there was another missing one. So that one piece is now missing too. I don't have it soldered in place yet, but that's what it's going to look like. And then the chip just slots down in there. Took a little bit of time off. I ate, cooked some food and everything. Doing some research, and that USB port that has the unused data lines in it, they're not actually connected to anything. It's just the port has the data lines, so they're kind of just there dead. I can get a little chip called the something 340. It's a programmer. I can wire that into the USB data lines and then wire it to the right parts of the chip, and then I can just use a USB cable in my computer and I can reprogram new games onto here. So and they're like $1, I think. So definitely thinking about doing that mod. Not sure if I'm going to do it to this one or if I'm going to leave this one kind of just stock and then do that to a different one. But I'm going to go ahead and get this soldered into place. I'll be right back. Got that soldered in, and I am facing a slight crisis. Did not realize I was that low on solder wire. Hopefully I have enough to finish this. Luckily, most of this doesn't have a lot of soldering involved. So next step is going to be probably the triode, and I know it's not actually a triode, it's a da-da-da, but when I was learning the actual names on everything, triode stuck with me a lot more than its real name, so that's what I call them. I got like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 more things to solder. Hopefully I should be able to do it. It's a lot of soldering though. We'll find out. Might not be able to finish this tonight, and I really don't want to have to do a part 2 video. Silver lining, I feel like this is probably going to make me become better at soldering, because I'm going to be working a lot harder at only... Let me get it to focus. At like only using as much solder as I actually need and not just throwing as much solder at it until it sticks. So there is that. You can see on the back just how many more solder points there actually are, and it's not a small number, but we'll get through it. So here you can see that right here is the USB connector, and it's hard to see, but the two middle ones aren't actually soldered. They are the data plus and minus. They're not actually doing anything currently. That's where you'd put the 340 chip, so I haven't soldered them yet. There's no point to it. These two big honkers are just to help hold it into place. I've got one's pretty good. The other one has like enough solder to kind of hold it, but it's solid. And I went ahead and I put the switch in. That's your on and off. There's the triodes in. Next up's going to be the speaker, and then probably the scoreboard. And that's the scoreboard put in place. My more efficient soldering work. Not the best. Really curious though, because it only had 5 pins on the bottom. Not sure what that's about. If anybody knows, please leave a comment. Well, I got the screens in. Don't worry about that one being slightly crooked. Soldered real well and easy. I'm pretty happy with this all told, and still plenty of solder. I'll definitely have enough to finish off the switches, because the 5 switches are all that's left, and then it'll be ready to slot in the IC and plug it up and see if it works. Alright, that's the completed board. I was apparently missing one of the button knobs. One thing I did notice, these aren't just click buttons. They actually, I don't know if you can tell here, like so these buttons I think could theoretically, they could maybe work as a D-pad. I'm not sure. This one is actually, it is a locking button to turn it on and off. Not sure what I'm going to do with that, because my other buttons are the wrong size. Moment of truth. Let's see if we can turn it on. Alright, moment of truth. So you got one. That's I think I might have some issues. So that's sound. I'm not sure. The 4 games. Well, anyway, it kind of works. I'd say a couple of my solders there are just where I was trying to conserve. I might need to redo some of them. I think I might even honestly see which ones I need to redo. And I'm really curious on that one if it ain't the missing pin keeping that one from working right, because it's all in the same layer. But that's it. It came with like an acrylic case you can put it in, but other than the back being pointy, I kind of like the bare board look. Other mods I'm thinking about maybe doing is I could figure out which one of those was positive and which one's ground, and run like a 4AA battery pack to it to get it up to 5 volt, and run the game like that as an actual handheld. Like I said, I'm thinking about getting the programmer, because that would be kind of cool to be able to do other stuff with that. This is apparently, like, as far as IC goes, a pretty decent little microcontroller. It doesn't have a lot of beef to it, but it's got enough for little pixel games, and there's apparently a couple of different projects on GitHub that use it. So, yes, my horribly cluttered, theoretically 5 computers on this desk, plus my 15-volt variable power supply there, and a bunch of other random stuff. Don't judge me.